Hey all, welcome to Learn QA and Allah channel. And first of all, thanks for being here. In this lesson 9, we will try to solve some high-level questions on percentage topic. And so far, we discussed 8 lessons on this topic. In lesson 1, we discussed introduction to percentage. Lesson 2, all fractional equivalents to percentages and its importance while solving simplification questions. Lesson 3, we discussed all basic questions on percentage. Lesson 4, successive percentage changes, increments and decrements and all. And lesson 5 on geometrical shapes, how areas and volumes will change when dimensions are altered. And lesson 6 about words model. And lesson 7 is consumption expenditure variety. And lesson 8, we discussed how to solve the questions when students passed and failed kind of data is given by using Venn diagrams and other variables as well. So in this lesson 9, we will try to solve 8 to 9 high-level questions, very good standard questions. Let us start this session. And first of all, try to read the data, try to interpret the data, try to understand the data, and try to write very minimum information onto the paper, which can save the time. Let us read the question. A man distributes 10%, 18%, 22% of his salary into his 3 children who spend 40, 60, 25% of the amount that they receive respectively. The difference between the total amount left with the children and the man is 10,150 rupees. What is the salary of the man? Friends, what is the data? A man has, let's say, total 100% money. He given 10% to first children, 18% to second child, and 22% to third child, and 22 plus 18, 40 plus 10, 50% of his salary is given to children. So the balance 50% is with him. And the final statement talks about the amount of the money left with them. And this data talks about the money that they spend. So don't try to find out what is their spendings. Try to find out the money is left with them. So the first child receives 10% of the money, in which he spends 40%. If 40% he spend, 60% of the money will be left with him. He receives 10% of the worth, 10% of the salary of the man. Out of 10%, 40% he spent, means 60% of his money is remaining. What is 60% of 10? 6. What about 60% is spending for the second child? 40% is saving. What is the 40% of 18? 7.2. 25% is the spending for the third child. If 25% is the expenditure, 75% is the money left with him. 75% means 3/4. What is 3/4 of 25? Sorry, 3/4 of 22, right? So friends, 22 is the money that he receives, right? 3/4 of 22 must take. So this is 66 by 4. So 16 4 is 64. 2 remainder, 2 by 4 is 0.5. So 16.5 is the money left with the third child. But there is no spending for the person. There is no expenditure for the man. Whatever the money that is there in the beginning, it is there till the end. So 50% is the money with the man. And what percent of the money is with the children now? 16 plus 6, 22 plus 7, 29, and decimals 0.9, sorry, 0.7. So 29.7% is with the children. They receive 50% money. After expenditures, they left with the 29.7%. And the money between, the final money is between the person and the children is, the difference is 20.3%, right? 50 minus 29.7 is 20.3%, which is numerically how much friends given? 10,150. If 20.3% is 10,150, what is the salary of the man? We consider the salary of the man as 100%, right? So then 100% of man worth is how much? So this is cross multiplication, 100 into 10,150 by 20.3. Take it as 203 by 10. That by 10 will go to numerator into 10, right? So 203 by 10 goes to numerator. So 203 5 is 1050, 0. 50 into 10, 500. So 500 into 100 is 50,000. So the salary of the man is 50,000, and that is option D. So guys, you can have very small tricks. Different kind of tricks will come into picture slowly. This question, there is no trick. This is the way to solve, right? So basically, we have taken the salary as 100%. 10, 18, 22 what the money is given to the children, out of which spendings or expenditure is done. So balance the savings. We got it 28.7. Difference is 20.3%. That is 10,150. 100% is what. So we're done in 4 steps maximum. Let us go for the second question. Salary of A is 37.5% of the total salary of A and B. Friends, 37.5 is nothing but 3 by 8, right? Fraction equivalent to percentage. So the money, the salary of A is 3 by 8 of the total salary of A and B. So here 8A equal to 3A plus 3B. What is 5A equal to 3B, right? If 5A equal to 3B, what is A to B ratio? This is 3 to 5. B goes to denominator and 5 goes to the other denominator. So A to B salaries ratio is 3:5. Once if you've done this part, the other part is just like the ticket part. Let's see how. B saves 60% of his salary and the total savings of A and B is 50% of their total income. Friends, this data is not required to solve the question. I'll tell you why. And focus on this. The total savings of A and B is 50% of income. So out of their income, if 50% is their saving, expenditure is also 50%, right? So guys, I hope that you know this basic term rule. Income equal to expenditure plus savings. If you consider income is 100%, if expenditure is 50%, savings is 50%, right? So he mentioned in the question that savings are 50%. So if savings are 50%, the expenditure should be 50%, right? So the combined expenditure of A and B is 50%. Let us continue. The average expenditure is 15,000. So 2% average expenditure is 15,000. What is sum of their expenditure then? 15,000 into 2% are there, right? Into 2. So the average expenditure is 15,000. Sum of expenditures is 30,000. Friends, we know that A's income to B's income ratio is 3:5. If A is 3x, B is 5x, the total income of A and B is 8x, right? 8x, right? So this is the total income 8x, in which 50% is their expenditure. So 50% means 8x to half, 4x. So 4x is 30,000. Then what is the question? What is the total salary of A and B? The total salary of A and B is 8x, right? So 8x is 1. So this is into 2. So this must be into 2. So 60,000 is the total salaries of A and B, and that is option. So simply, friends, we are trying to take the ratio of A to B is 3:5. Total is 8 parts. Expenditure is half as per the thumb rule, as per the given data. So 8 parts low, half, 4 parts. So if 4 parts is 30,000, 8 parts is 60,000. You can do mind math as well. But I put all these details. If you have any doubt, you can clarify. So that's the reason we are putting every detail onto the paper. But while doing an exam, nothing to write all these details into the paper, right? So you can skip that actually. Let's go for the next question. Yeah. Out of total students, 100/3% are in hostel A and remaining are in hostel B. If 20 students from hostel B are shifted to hostel A, then total students in hostel A becomes 50% of total students. If 15 students from hostel A are shifted to hostel B, then total number of students in hostel A becomes what percent of total students? So friends, in general, while solving percentage questions, we will take any unknown thing as 100%. You can alter that, depends on the situation actually. Every time no need to take 100, but maximum times we will take it 100. That can be altered, depends on the situation, the question. So here, 100/3% are in hostel A. So to avoid the fractions, we are trying to take some 3 multiple, some big number. Instead of 100%, let us say the total as 120%. If you are not convinced with 120%, you can take 150, 180, 240, 270. Whatever 3 multiple is there, in the denominator 3 multiple is there, you can take those multiple as total. So total we are taking 120%. Why? To avoid fractions. So avoid fractions by taking smart numbers. So shortcut is nothing but about our thought process only, guys. Shortcut is not about formulas. It is about our thought process. So by the moment when I see this 100/3%, we come to know to take it as 3 multiple, we have taken 120%. So now some of them are in hostel A and some of them are in hostel B, right? Now what percent of the students are in hostel A? 100/3% are in hostel A. So 100/3 3% means we discussed very clearly. 100 by 3% is 1/3, right? The fraction equivalent. So what is 1/3 of 120? 40% of students are in hostel A. The remaining 80% are in hostel B. Now let us read the data step by step. If 20 students from B are shifted to hostel A, now 80% are there, right? We don't know numerical, but we know percentage. Now from here, 20 are subtracted and they were added to hostel A. Now initially 40% are in hostel A. If 20 people join, the number of students becomes 40% plus 20 students. Because of doing this, the total students in hostel A becomes 50% of total students. So total students are 120%. In that 50% means exactly half. Not numerically 50 guys. 50% of total students. Somebody by mistake take 50 here. But please be careful. 50% of 120. So which means 60%. 50% means exactly half, right? Half of 120 is 60. So the difference in percentage is 20%. So if 20% is 20 students, we consider the total students as 120%, right? If I take it as 100, I would have find out 100%. If I take 120%, 120% is my total. If somebody take 150%, 150% must be your total. So if 20% is 20, 120% is 120. That means the percentages becomes numbers now. So 120 students are there in hostel A, 40 students, hostel B, 80 students are there. As simple as the data becomes now. So do you understand the importance of taking that smart numbers? Yes. Now let us continue the question. If 15 students from hostel A are shifted to hostel B, so here you subtracted 50, here you added 50. So after this change, number of students in hostel A is 25, here 95. After this change, the students in hostel A, that is 25, is what percent of total students? So 25 are the number of students. Total students are 120. To convert into percent, into 100. So 26 up, 25 is up. So 25 is a 125 by 6. So 120 by 6 is 20%. 5 by 6 means 0.833. So 20.833% are there in hostel A when I compare the total data after transferring 15 students from hostel A to hostel B. Right? It's a very simple question. You can avoid so much of math by thinking wisely, by taking smart numbers. Let's go for the next question. The production of a company has ups and downs every year. The production increases for 2 consecutive years consistently by 15%, and in the third year, it decreases by 20%. Again, in the next 2 years, it increases by 25% each year and decreases by 10% in the third year. So, first 15, 15, and then 20. Next 25, 25, and then 10. 2 increases, 1 decrease. This systematically he has given 6% changes in total. Okay, what is the data? If we start counting from the year 2014, approximately what will be the effect on the production of the company in 2018? So from 15 to 6, 14 to 15, 15 to 16, 16 to 17, 17 to 18. So totally 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4% changes you have to consider. So guys, we discussed in our lesson 3, so not in lesson 3, lesson 4, we discussed successive percentage changes. There I discussed in detail about successive multiplying factors. If anybody missed, you need to watch that because it is very important for percentages. We don't know what is the production of the company in 2014, so it is 100%. But in the first 2 years, it increases by 15%, right? It increases by 15% in the first 2 years and decrease by 10% in the third year, and the fourth year increases by 25%. I am not considering the next 2 because I don't require them, because I am looking for 14 to 18 years only. So let us focus on this 4 only. If 15% increase in the production, the new production is 115%. This is the increase in 2014 to 15. What happens from 15 to 16, second time, again 15% increase. It becomes 115% again. Next decreases by 10%, right? So if it decreases by 10%, you have to write it as 90% of it. And then again increases by 25%, right? It should be 125% now. What is this new value you have to consider now, right? So guys, I think we did a small mistake while calculating this third year by 20%, right? This should be 20% decrease. So this should be 80. So please be careful. The data, you have to observe it carefully, right? Let us finish the calculation. So 25 5s are 25 4s are 24s are 25s are 523s are 520s are 523s are 520s are. Now friends, here 5 5 4 4 cancel, 0 0 0 0 cancel. 23 into 23, 23 square is of 529. 2 into 2 4. So 4 ones are 4, 1 remainder, 4 threes are 12, 9 remainder, 4 twos are 8, 132.25%. So initially the production is 100%. After 4 consecutive years, it is 132.25%. The net increase is 32%, and that is option B, right? So in this way, you can simply work out the question. So guys, please be remember, successive multiplying factors is very important model for percentage calculations. So please try to watch that if anybody missed. Let us go for the next question. In a company of 50 employees and 12 managers, each employee got suites that are 25% of the total number of employees, and each manager got suites that are 30% of the total number of employees. The total number of suites got by all the employees is what percentage of the total number of suites got by all the managers? So friends, a step-by-step process will help you a lot. Many people have a problem in comprehensive questions, the lengthy questions. They are simple actually. Let's see. The number of employees are 50 and the number of managers are 12. Now they were distributing the suites. How do they distribute? Each employee got 25% of the total number of employees. So here number of employees are 50. Number of suites received by each employee is 25% of 50. So 25% means 1/4. What is 1/4 of 50? 1/4 of 50, how do you write this, guys? 1/4 of 50. So 50 by 4, 25 by 2, 12.5. So each employee receives 12.5 suites, 12.5 suites. If one employee is getting 12.5, 50 employees will get into 50. So 12.5 into 50, 0 decimal point, 125 into 5. So 625 suites were received by all employees. What about the managers then? Each manager got 30% of the total number of employees again. So employees are 50. In that 30% is 15. So each manager got 15 suites. For 12 managers, 15 12s are 180 suites. Now the question is, the number of suites received by employees 625 is what percentage of the number of suites received by the managers? 180. So 625 is what percent of 180? To convert into percent into 100. So 25s are 29s are 600 5s are 3000, 25 5s are 125, 3000 plus 125, 3125 by 9. So 9 3s are 27, 4 remainder, 9 4s are 36, 6 remainder, 9 7s are 63, 347.22, and that is option C. It's a simple word problem, guys. So let us go for the next question. Next two questions are very complicated and very easiest questions in fact. Let us see. This is the question that I was talking about. You can have fantastic ideas when you can understand the situation actually. In a college, there are 3,600 students. Last day, except 4% of the students, all students were present in the college. And today, except 5% of the girls, all students are present in the college. But in both days, the number of students present in the college were the same. Then the total number of girls in the college is 1. There are many ways to solve this question. I would like to tell you one traditional method, then one easiest method, right? First, let us see traditional method. I don't solve this question completely by using traditional method. I will tell you the approach, what you generally guys will see in many of reference books. So total students were 3,600, right? And you need to find out the number of girls in this. Out of 3600, if X number of students are girls, what about boys? Boys are Total minus girls, 3,600 minus X. Now, last day, except 4% of the boys, all students were present in the college. Let us see how many students are present in the last day. So all girls are present. He says only 4% of the boys were absent. That means all girls are present, and out of 3600 minus X, 4% were absent. Means 96% of the boys were present. So these are the number of students present. Number of students present in the school in the last day. And today, except 5% of the girls, all students were present. So that means all boys are present in the next day. So the boys are 3600 minus X. But 5% of the girls were absent. Out of X, if 5% were absent, 95% of X are present. So these are the number of students present in the today. But in both days, number of students present are same, right? Equated. If you try to solve for X value, you will get the answer. But do you believe this kind of lengthiest way is possible to solve an exam? I don't feel so. Then what do you solve? How do you solve? Friends, if you can understand this analysis, if number of students present in the school are same on both days, the number of students absent are also the same, right? Yes. In both days, if number of students present are same, the number of students absent are also the same. So in the first day, 4% of the boys are absent. These are the number of students absent in the first day. And today, 5% of the girls were absent. So 5% of the girls were absent in the second day. As per the analysis, if the number of students present is same, number of students absent is also the same. So equate that. From that, you'll get to know the ratio of boys to girls as 5:4. Now we got it in a single step. Now 5 parts are boys, 4 parts are girls. Totally 9 parts, right? 5 plus 4, 9 parts. And the 9 parts is how much? 3,600 students. But we need to find out the number of girls, right? So the number of girls are how many parts here? 4 parts are how many? So this is into 400. So into 400, if you do, 1,600 students are girls in the school, and that is option C. So with ratio model, you can simply work out, and that takes hardly 30 seconds to 40 seconds, right? But this is the lengthiest way of framing equations. Don't do. There is one more step, that is with option verification. Even that also takes time. Now this ratio method, you try to solve the next question. Pause the video for some time and then try to solve. I am going to solve this directly. Let's see. 4% of the boys are absent. So 4% of the boys are absent, and 28 by 3%, percent means per 100, right? Of girls are absent. Again, there is a statement. In both days, number of students present in the school were same. If number of students are present same, number of students absent are also the same. Equate it. So 200 gets cancelled. 4 goes 7 times. What is boys to girls ratio? That is 7 by 3. So totally boys and girls, 7 plus 3, 10 parts. If 10 parts is 4,000, the total students is 4,000, right? So boys and girls are together 10 parts. So boys are 7, girls are 3, 7 plus 3, 10 parts is 4,000. Number of girls are 3 parts only, right? So 3 parts are how many? How do you do this? So this is 4 into 3 into 4,000 by 10. So 0 gets cancelled. 400 3s are, so 1,200 girls are there, and that is option D. Sometimes they may ask us to find out what is the difference between number of boys and girls. So difference is how many? No need to find out boys and girls. Simply you can say difference. Difference is 4 parts, right? If 10 parts is 4,000, 4 parts are how many? 1,600 is the difference. So in that way, you can beautifully solve the question, guys. Let us see one more question. As I told you already, have a good knowledge on successive multiplying factors. Here it is an example. Andrew brought some apples. 4% of them were spoiled in transport. 10% of the remaining got rotten and sold 90% of the good ones. If 5,400 apples were remain unsold, find the number of apples that he bought originally. So I will try to tell you both methods, normal method and successive multiplying factors method. You feel whichever the easy, you can follow that. Let us say totally he purchased 100% apples. But during the transport, 4% apples were rotten. Sorry, 4% apples were spoiled, right? So 96% are good as of this now. Now from this 96%, if 10% apples are rotten, so what is 10% of 96? Somebody may subtract 10. but you are to subtract 10% of 96, that is 9.6. So 10% of 96 is 9.6. If that is subtracted, the number of good apples is 86.4 apples. So these are the number of good apples. Now from 86.4%, if 90% of apples are sold, if 90% of apples are sold, what percent of good apples are unsold? So friends, from these good apples, if 90% of apples are sold, 10% of apples are unsold, right? So from 86.4, if 90% is sold, 10% of 86.4, that is 8.64 is unsold. So if 8.64 is unsold apples, which is numerically 5,400 apples, then totally what percent of apples you purchase? 100% is what? If you simplify, you'll get it. But I don't feel doing these many transactions. You can simply wind up in a single step if you know multiplying factors method. So let us say 100% are the total apples you bought. If 4% are spoiled, 96% are good. Now from this, if 10% are got rotten, 90% are not rotten, good apples. But later statement talks about unsold apples, right? If 90% are sold, 10% of it is unsold. So these are unsold apples, which is 5,400. Then 100% is what? So 100% equal to, cross multiply the terms, 300 goes to numerator, 100 into 100 into 100 into 5,405. Now these three terms, 10, 90, 96 come to denominator. 10 into 90 into 90. So 2 zeros gets cancelled here. 9 6 are 54, 2 zeros. So here 424s are 425s are 4 6 are 425s are 6 goes 100 times, right? So 25 into 25, 625, 625 into 100, 62,500 number of apples you bought originally, and that is option 2. So aptitude is such a beautiful subject which has many thought process. It totally rely on how you think, how you take it. So thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to get more such updates, you can subscribe to our channel, learn and learn. And don't forget to share your community, those who want to prepare for the exams seriously. And wish you best wishes. And the next video, we will try to come up with another fantastic 10 set of questions. Thank you so much once again. Keep learning, keep inspiring. Thank you.